How's it going, everybody? IncogM, we're back in another video. Obviously, today we're going to be doing the Week 10 review and Week 11 preview. I'm joined by Tori.
Heyo.
This week was definitely one to remember. I'm not going to do as many explanations except for the playoff one, of course, just because I am currently sick and not feeling great, and I'd rather not have a coughing fit while recording, and I don't want to chop it up and everything. So this won't be that fast, but it will definitely be less talking on my part because I usually talk or over talk a lot of the time, so like right now. So let's go ahead and start it off with the first match. Eagleville versus Team Free Slurpees. We saw a 2-0 victory by Eagleville, bringing the Hydreigon, Greninja, Malamar, Incineroar, Mega Absol, and Scrafty. Team Free Slurpees bringing the Mega Lucario, Stack Attack, Magneton, Heatran, Skarmory, and Jirachi. This was a show of just good play by both teams, I would think. That Mega Lucario could have actually been a really big difference maker had Blue played it better. I think Jaden brought the Choice Scarf Malamar again, so that was a really good sight to see as usual. And of course, you know, Jaden always has his hidden techs and everything, but I don't think he really brought anything hidden tech-wise this week. But Blue could have definitely won this match, but it was just more or less down to could he beat most of Jaden's offensive Pokemon, which at some points he was, you know, Hydreigon, Greninja, even Incineroar, but then Malamar always cleans up, and that is important. Now, of course, Jaden, with his victory, does move on into playoff position. Then he is now confirmed for playoffs, which is definitely something he really wanted to do. And at first, beginning of the season, I really wasn't feeling that he'd do it, but he made a pretty good comeback as of right now, so that's really good. I won't dwell on the match too much. You guys can obviously see it for yourselves. I will talk about specific matches in depth, but just not this one, unfortunately. But yeah, so moving on, we had Galicious beat the SubZero Syndicals, with Galicious bringing the Mamoswine, the Excadrill, the Neo King, the Garchomp, Flygon, and Hippowdon. SubZero bringing the Kyurem regular, or just regular Kyurem, Naganadel, Kingdra, Kamo, Latias, and Goodra. It almost became a battle of weather, which I definitely think Galicious was prepared for since I had a Kingdra on my team. Well, SubZero had a Kingdra on their team, and it really came down to, I think, Banded Mamoswine. Yeah, I think they said Banded Mamoswine, which was definitely the difference maker here. That's really it. All things considered, had it been Scarf Mamo, that would have probably been a better prediction on SubZero's part, but it was Banded, which wasn't very obvious. It was definitely something to look out for. We also Excadrill also get 2 more kills, adding on to its legendary KD, I think, of 22-2. And this was a really good game for Galicious. Obviously, they can lose in number 1 position, but they're still confirmed, of course. And SubZero needs to win next week in order to be confirmed for playoffs. Since they're on the bubble because they're a 5-4 team, they need to get their 6th win, but they unfortunately lost this week. Congratulations to Galicious for the 2-0 victory. Moving on, we have Baltimore versus Novo, with Baltimore bringing the Heracross, the Armaldo, Araquanid, Volcarona, Mega Scizor, Combi. Novo bringing the Cincino, Porygon 2, Mega Pidgeot, Blissey, Snorlax, and Silvally. It literally came down to Heracross came in and then just wrecked everything. That's basically how this game went. You can talk about Cincino getting its 2 kills, sure, but we saw Heracross come in once again. I think it was Scarf, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
I believe so. And it just literally ran a train through this team. And that's what happens when you have a bug fighting type and against the normal type team. Of course, King definitely did play his hardest. But these are 2 teams that are both, I think, 4 and 5. So he was 3 and 6. King was 4 and 5. So it definitely shows that Tep is still trying to make a late run into the playoffs. So he could definitely do that. And he owns a lot of tiebreakers, but we'll get into that later. King definitely needs a lot of help when it comes to making playoffs, but even then, congratulations to Baltimore for the 4-0 victory. Tori, let's get to the next match where we had Essex beat Garden City. Tori, tell them about it.
Oh, yes. Getting that 1-0 victory. Essex bringing the Slowbro at Azelf, Metagross, Mega Gallade, Tapu Lele, and Latios. Garden City bringing Shuckle, Mega Diancie, Nihilego, Rhyperior, Lycanroc, Midday, and Tyranitar. So, This was a very, very, very close match. As you can see, that Shuckle has 3 kills. Garden City was able to get off Power Trick Shuckle, and it definitely put in work. I think the only reason that it lived as long as it did was Azelf had missed the Zen Headbutt, and also Tapu Lele had Psychic instead of Psy Shock, so the Shuckle was just sitting there being fat and super powerful. Eventually being taken down by Toxic. Good thing that the Slowbro was able to Toxic it early on while it was on the field, or else this could have been a wildly different scenario. But yeah, in the end, I mean, it just came down to Nihilego basically didn't have Thunderbolt and couldn't take down the Slowbro at the final turns of the match. I think, well, if the Nihilego had gone to crit, maybe it would have Garden City would have won, but in the end, Slowbro was able to clean up the rest of Garden City's team.
Had the Nihilego been Specs, it would have probably won out too.
Yeah, true. But yeah, good, really great playing on both teams. Garden City was almost able to get that upset, very, very close. But yeah, congrats to Essex for the victory.
No, moving on.
Oh
we
yes.
had. And I want to just put this out there. I just let Tori take the team because I didn't feel like trying to grab somebody else for 2 games that they wouldn't really care about because they're not trying to make playoffs. But this game, you guys have to watch the replay of this because once it hit turn 11, turn 12, it basically turned into just Magnezone versus the world. But Tori, tell them about your victory.
Okay. Yes. Objectively speaking, the beginning was very shaky. Both teams going back and forth with hazards and defog, and it was clear that Clayton didn't know what they were doing for the first half of the match. But once Magirano switched into Specs Flash Cannon from Magnezone, it was lights out. Clayton almost clicked HP Fire instead to predict the switch, but it turns out Stab Flash Cannon was the right thing to pick. Basically swept through the rest of Orange Ink's team up until, I think...
Dying to Hail and then Mawile.
Yeah, Dying to Hail, yeah. Yeah, and then it was basically Zapdos versus Mega Mawile, and then Zapdos nuked it with Fire MZ.
Yeah, you didn't really have to know what Pokemon came to this match because it was just basically Magnezone versus Zapdos versus the world, so...
Yep. Oh yeah, oops, forgot to... Well,
No, you made a good decision there.
Yeah, so it's basically, yeah.
Yep, so
I had plans to bring out my other Pokemon, but yeah, I think it was clear that Orange Ink just wasn't ready for, or wasn't gonna predict Magnezone, or like at least Specs Magnezone, which should have been an obvious bring because Steel type, but things happen.
Yeah, switching in crucially to a Specs Flash Cannon, even not knowing it was Specs, still not a great decision by Orange Ink. Additionally, I don't think he had Flamethrower on his Clefairy, which would have been very nice to have. So at least... He
did have HP Ground. I know that he had HP Ground, and that could have killed me if I hadn't switched out into Rotom Wash.
And we all got to really talk
which led up to the multiple turns of defog and hazards and defog and hazards.
We also have to talk about, and I saw this set because he had sent me it, the Klefki had only HP Ground as its attacking move, so it's not like it could have done anything realistically to Zapdos. So that was, or Rotom for that matter either. So there was that too, that this game could have been prolonged for a long time had had Clayton not had the Magnezone, or Magnezone had died, or if something had came up, but glad that it didn't prolong. Congratulations to Clayton on the final victory. Last game.
Yay! Yes, it's Johto gained the 2-0 victory against the Twin Leaf Teddiursas. Johto bringing the Mimikyu, Floslas, Blacephalon, Cofagrigus, Dusclops, and Gengar. Twin Leaf bringing the Celesteela, Honchkrow, Dragonites, Landorus. Is that Therian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tornadus Incarnates.
That's Therian.
That's also Therian? Damn it. Okay, I tried. And Gyarados. So, basically, there was early on definitely Johto crippling and paralyzing the Celesteela was definitely important to this match. And also Twin Leaf just not having really anything to like counter a defensive Kof Rodriguez who was able to get up to +6 using Iron Defense, was able to take down the Gyarados, which was, you know, sitting there trying to Dragon Dance but couldn't do much because it was also burned. Also, Twin Leaf just didn't really have anything to deal with Frostlass, which was, you know, as you can see, got 2 kills on for Johto. I think if Twin Leaf had brought something that had Sucker Punch or something, or brought at least Dark EMC to just nuke the Frostlass immediately, get rid of that ice type, might be a different story. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much else for me to say. I think Johto just played this differently, was able to bring out, you know, stuff that I guess Twin Leaf wasn't expecting, and took the day.
Yeah,
so,
most certainly.
Johto.
Had Honchkrow come in on the Kof Rodriguez, had Haze, had a dark move, whatever have you, would have done better in this matchup, but it clearly didn't have Haze, or else it should have came in. But hindsight's 2020, of course, but definitely could have been played better on Grizzly's part. But Grizzly's now also on the bubble, which is definitely something that we have to talk about in a minute. But let's get to our predictions. We went 4-2 this week, ending at a 34-26 record, and believe me, we're still going to be picking the same teams. But let's get into the rankings. So let's talk really quickly about playoffs right now. So give me a minute. So Gal Shields, easiest one to say here: avoid losing, get the #1 seed. Should you lose though, Essex, if you win and Gal Shields lose and the differential's above 6, you will get #1 seed. This is very important. Winning can get you the 2 seed as well, so hey, just win, I suppose. Eagle and Johto, congrats on being confirmed. Losing can drop your seeding, of course. So, you know, if you don't like being below other teams or having to face maybe each other if you hit up 4 and 5, then avoid that. Now, moving on. Twin Leaf, Orange, Jinx, SubZero, and Garden City, you all need to win. Now, all of you can't win, of course. But losing can drop you out of playoffs, of course. Now, there are different scenarios for everything, but Twin Leaf and SubZero just need to win, and they are in. Easy money. However, Garden City needs to win as well, but if they win, they need Orange Jinx to also lose. Now, in the event that Garden City should lose, Garden City needs Baltimore and Orange Jinx to both lose, because they lost to both those teams but beat Novo. The thing about this is that 7 losses is the number of losses that you can obtain to be outside of playoffs. But should all the 4 and 6 teams lose, what will be decided afterwards is who will be able to get in to playoffs after that. So Novo, Orange, and Baltimore, should they all lose, will determine it afterwards. 7 is still the magic number, and I hope this is very much focused and very much known. And maybe the other teams know this by now. Orange, hope to God that your differential is higher than both Garden City and SubZero, because you need that to make it in if you win. Because, believe me, you losing definitely hurt your chances now. But winning will get you at least an inch closer. You need Garden City to lose, and you'd also need to have better differential, or well, you lost to Nova, so you need to hope Nova loses as well. So there's also that. Just play your hearts out this week, I suppose. Baltimore, just win. You do need Orange Jinx to lose for differential reasons, since it was a double forfeit, but given that who you're playing this week, maybe you'll win, maybe you won't, I don't know. But winning is probably best for you, because then you can sit comfortably where you are, because you have differential over the 3 teams under you: Garden City, Nova, and Orange Jinx. Well, technically not Orange Jinx, because obviously, as you might understand, you guys have double forfeit. Nova, you need a lot of help. You need to win, and you need Twin Leaf and Baltimore to lose. There are other details about these scenarios, but these are the general synopses about these scenarios, and a lot of different things can happen, of course, but that's your general what can happen situations. I won't go over specifics right now, or I won't go over them at all. And yeah, so let's get into trades this week. We had the Clayton Charge Bugs drop Rotom Mo for the Xurkitree. Pretty good pickup in my opinion, but we'll see how it benefits them this upcoming week. And then we had a last-minute one. We had the Novo and Neuverns drop Cincinnati for Salzburg, a very weird switch going into this next match for them, but we'll find out in a minute now, won't we? So let's get into who's playing who this week. Baltimore versus Essex, and we both picked Baltimore. Now, I was going to pick Essex originally, but I think Baltimore wants to make it in the playoffs more than anything else. Additionally, this is a tight advantage for Baltimore, despite the Victini being right there in his face, telling him, hey, fuck you. I don't know. We'll see. My main thing is that DeVolvo is a really good battler, and so is Tep. But if Tep figures out DeVolvo's number and just dials it, it's going to be over. Scarf Heracross can come this week again. We can see the Mega Scissor being a threat once again. And we can even see Robombi come this week just as a really good fast special attacker and can hold the Focus Sash as well. You don't know what could come this week, but I definitely think that Baltimore has the better chance at winning. They have some faster Pokemon than a lot of Essex's team, but definitely Essex should be fine in this matter. But I'm not doubting that they're not going to win, but I'd prefer if Baltimore won just because maybe, just maybe, I like to see them in playoffs after the season they've had and how this season has seemed like a redeeming season for them after what felt like just a losing season beforehand. Tori?
Yeah, basically, yeah, this was hard for me to pick for sure. But I think, yeah, Baltimore has every motivation in the world to win this match, and I think that, you know, he's gonna try his best to, you know, dial into basically what Essex would try to do and just, you know, do his best. I think it's gonna be a hard-fought match, but I think Baltimore's gonna take it.
Right. Moving on to the next match. SubZero versus Garden City. We both picked SubZero in this case, and I picked SubZero because the setup sweeper team in Garden City is not going to be, it might not do very well. Focus Hash Pokemon could do really well. Bandit or even Scarf Zygarde could do really well here. Even set up the rain, Kingdra could definitely do a lot here. Overcoat Kamo could be a big threat. As far as I know, a lot of the Pokemon on this team, even having Mobrick and Terravolt with Haxorus and also Kyurem B, could be really crucial. I do think Garden City has a really good chance at winning if they play their cards right. Obviously, having that Dragon Claw Tyranitar, having the Fairy type that is Mega Diancie, having Scarf Tyrantrum can help, but they really need to focus on very few things, and that's making sure that this team doesn't set up. Once SubZero sets up, it is basically over, and that could be alluding to something, but I won't talk about it right now. But Tori?
Yeah, definitely. I think, well, Garden City definitely has Monta in this team that could, you know, Mega Diancie, Tyrantrum. I think SubZero definitely has more options. We have Kamo being a crazy powerful fighting type. We have Kingdra. We have the Swift Swim. Just tear through this team. But yeah, I think in general, I think SubZero has also just a better battling strategy, just the more options to take down Garden City.
Obviously, I didn't mention this, but Mega Garchomp could become a very big Pokemon in this match, but it depends on how SubZero prepares this match. But moving on, third match of the week, Galshield versus Eagleville. Didn't really change positions for us, and we picked Galshield. Galshield probably wants to hang on to the number one position, but both these teams could be memeing this week just for the hell of it since they're both confirmed. But the guys dropped their seeding that way, so as much as I like memeing for matches, I wouldn't advise it if you really care about your seeding. I think Galshield will win though. They have a lot of great Pokemon on this team, and obviously Sand could definitely still be a thing. Jaden has been playing out of his mind these past few weeks, of course, but Galshield has also been playing out of their mind despite not going obviously undefeated like most of us could have predicted them to. But this will be a close match. Not really my game of the week, but definitely a close match to say the least. Tori?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, since both teams are, like you said, confirmed for playoffs, and it's not really a high stakes match, but I think Galshield is going to be like, you know, I still need to have my number one seeding for, you know, for playoff reasons. So I think Galshield, well, might play a little bit looser, just like, haha, Mimi fun. Still gonna, you know, bring the hurt this week.
All right, so moving on to the last three matches, of course. Toro start us off with Team Free Slippers with Johto. We both picked Johto.
Yes. So, well, Johto, like, definitely has Joe has the motivation to stay in good playoff positioning, and also just in general has shown a better just battling prowess, especially last week was able to show the ability to pull like some wild and maybe unpredictable stuff that Blue definitely won't, well, most likely will not expect. And, and Blue doesn't really have any real reason to like play too hard except for pride's sake. Like I'm going to be playing, to be honest, all for pride. Yeah, I think just in general, I think Joe has just been playing better. I think will have his head more in the game than Blue will, and yeah.
Yeah, Blue might be looking for some sort of revenge or just looking to win. Obviously, if you guys didn't know from drafting, you can clearly see someone has an Aegis Slash and someone doesn't. So there is that too. So I'm gonna say this much: I never think Johto will win this match. And everything Blue is gonna be angry and still kind of angry about the Aegis Slash not being taken by him. But I think Johto still wants to keep a good playoff position, and maybe they could win or lose. Maybe that'll determine. They want to, do like certain like, oh, I want this differential to avoid this team or to fight this team first, depending on how they feel. But playoff season is upon us. Blue doesn't have to play it seriously, but Blue could obviously win for pride's sake. And should Clayton lose this week, they can obviously avoid 12th place should Clayton lose and should they win. But moving on, since we're predicting Johto here, we have Twinleaf versus Orange Ink before Tori starts. This is a very crucial match, just like a lot of matches, and this is my game of the week. And why is it my game of the week? Well, two teams want to make the playoffs, and two teams obviously just don't want to, miss out on playoffs, and they need to win because differential is definitely going to be on the line should either of them lose. But Tori, go ahead and tell them why you picked Twinleaf.
Yes. Well, yes, that previous answer is definitely like Twinleaf has every reason to play his heart out. He wins, he's in. I think his team in general is better equipped to beat Orange Ink. We have Celesteela for fairies in general, just to be fat and stally and annoying. We have Landorus and Charizard Y for the steel types on Orange Ink's team. Options for Haze now that he's learned the hard lesson of being able to get rid of setup mons, being able to get rid of setup that ORHG can bring. And also, basically I think Twinleaf in general has motivation, skill, and also the team to beat Orange Ink.
I think Orange Ink needs to pay attention this week because Grizz is going to obviously figure out that Coco, Ninetales are definitely two great brings here, and he's going to obviously figure out, okay, Landorus with a Yache Berry, or Thundurus coming in with Volt Absorb, obviously. Even bringing that Celesteela is very crucial. What Grizzy needs to do is really focus down and really think about, do I want to make playoffs? Do I really care right now? And he probably does care. He really wants to make playoffs. Seeding wise, if he wins, we don't know where he's going to end up, obviously, but he could end up pretty high, or he could end up pretty low. Orange Ink needs to focus this week. Even though I'm not picking you this week, Ben, I do have some belief in you that you can definitely pull this out of your ass, but I don't think you need me to tell you that. I think you need to tell yourself that. We always talk about this, but just be confident in yourself, and you can definitely put your mind to anything. Of course, I'm still picking Grizzy, because I think Grizzy has more motivation and just more positive energy going around him where he thinks, you know what, I want to make playoffs, I want to win this game, therefore he can do it. But, like I said, game of the week, this will be a very close game in my opinion. Last game is Clayton versus
close games.
Nova, and yeah, we both picked Clayton, and I think we both agree before we had started recording this will be a close game as well. But Tori, tell them why you picked Clayton.
Yes. For one thing, because I have a special...
No, speak objectively, speak objectively.
Okay. I think Clayton's going to be playing for pride's sake, and also in general has more options, I think, in general to beat Nova. Maybe a bit more, go get him positive energy, like... Basically, yeah, it's a pride for my explanation, but I mean, I think also Clayton has some heavy hitters that would be able to handle the chunky fatness that is in that's on Nova's team. I think it's definitely going to be a close match. I think Clayton definitely needs to play carefully and basically have Mons prepared for just about anything that Nova could bring out. But I think in general, Clayton's going to take it. But like I said, close match.
For me personally, I think Clayton will win just because, even for pride's sake, I definitely think that the circuitry pickup is very important. I think the Sawsword pickup is a lot weaker for Nova. Not having that Cincino, having that good consistent damage with Skill Link, it's definitely something to consider. Clayton can bring a lot of different Pokemon in general. Bringing that Electivire, even that Raikou could be very great for this matchup. Not even just very great, just crucial mons in a situation where they can bring fighting moves. Of course, Circuitry being Scarf or even Specs could definitely help out this match. We could even see some crazy things like Z Electric Terrain, or Lone Raichu, or even the Zapdos coming back as bulky. But I definitely think that King, despite not having the motivation to really win, can definitely try to keep this close. But for pride's sake, Clayton will want to win this match. I definitely will try very hard to win. And generally speaking, even without personal bias, I was going to pick this game either way in this favor, just because King's main Pokemon of attacking might be Diggersby, or might be a Silvally type that will be either resist and be super effective against Clayton, or just be a type that could generally be a great wall for his team. But Clayton's team definitely showed last week that despite not really needing to win, they can still play like there's something on the line. That's going to do it for us for the Week 10 review and Week 11 preview. Thank you guys for watching, of course. Next week, and this is going to be explained in the next video as well, we're going to obviously have the top 3 Pokemon displayed for you guys about who has the most kills and stuff, you know, KD ratio, which one's the best, and we'll also talk about what playoffs we'll be doing for every team, because, and this happens in all my leagues, they're going to have a certain amount of time to take up 3 more Pokemon or trade 3 more Pokemon if they want to from either teams that are eliminated or just from the free agency spots. I think it'll be like 48 to 72 hours, and then we'll be able to make another video where we talk about who we think is going to win. So next week's video is going to be a lot shorter in comparison to the previous ones. So hope you guys like that, of course. But for me and Tori, we're going to say bye.
Bye-bye.
This has been the Multi Battle Association. I'm IncogM, and I'll talk to you guys later.